Hey guys, we are back again for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. And if you guys are not new here, make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Well, everybody should be hitting the like button. But anyways, guys, let's jump into this situation with Kenyamoore and the Real Housewives of Atlanta, because it seems like Kenya was actually fired.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Well, guys, so this long-awaited story that we have been hearing about for some time with regards to Kenyamoore and what actually happened between her and the newbie Britt Edie has finally hit our TV screens. And it seems like Kenya was actually let go, at least for this season. Will she be back? I don't know, but based on what she put on her social media, I don't know if Kenya is going to be coming back, because to me, it looked like a farewell. Now, I don't know what it looked like to you guys. Maybe it just looked like a bunch of stuff that Kenya was posting, but she went to her social media and she sent many thanks to some people. Now, not everyone, but she thanked a few people on her social media, which to me looked very, very much like a farewell. Now, Kenya is, friends with, what is her name? I believe her name is Claudia. And if you guys paid attention to that video that Claudia did with Carlos and Dustin, Claudia pretty much said that she felt as though it was a farewell. Now, she did not come out and say Kenya told her it was a farewell, but Claudia and Kenya are pretty close. So for me, because Claudia said that it was a farewell, it's given farewell to me. So in all honesty, guys, I don't believe that Kenya is going to come back. And judging just from what I saw, it really, really seemed like Kenya actually had a problem with Andy. Now, I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to see Kenya's post. And just in case you didn't, let's get into it here. Because the post that Kenya put on social media, it reminded me so very much of Nene. Now, the reason why I said it reminded me of Nene, because if you guys recall, Nene had her, situation with Andy as well. Now, this isn't the same situation, but this was really giving, for me, that Kenya was really upset by some of his actions.
What happened is that Britt made a comment at the end of last week's episode, like, I have a gun and a whip or something like that.
I saw that.
And on this week's episode, they all said to Britt that you can't say that shit. And she was like, yeah, you're right. Whatever. She shows up to Kenya's opening of her gorgeous salon, which is beautiful, that Kenya has worked so hard on, that she dedicated to her daughter. And it's this big event, opening it with all these people there. And Britt comes in and brings her flowers and says, I want to apologize to you, and a note. And Kenya totally ignores her, like totally. And Britt's like, okay, I'm just going to leave these here. And Britt leaves. And then Kenya gets up and makes her whole opening about someone came after me and they shouldn't have. And I started looking into who this woman is, and this is who she is. And she starts showing pictures of her.
Like poster board that she printed
out. And this is like
one of the pictures is
revenge porn type.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the pictures is her.
Like, oral sexing.
Yeah. And so, and the Atlanta housewives are like, we're out. We don't want any, the place clears out.
Yeah.
And then there's and Cynthia said, in all my time at the show, this is the lowest I've ever seen anything get. And so that's what, and then there's a slide at the end of the show that says, Bravo, stop filming with Kenya after this.
Well, they say, like, there's all this talk of, after the Me Too movement, it's like, if you show someone a dick pic or a nude pic without them saying, yes, I would like to see that right now, that's like sexual assault.
Yes, Jordan?
Well, I was going to say,
Okay, guys, so I'm going to cut it off there. So Kenya did not like that, okay? Because Kenya is pretty much saying, you guys are discussing me as if I did something illegal. So let's kind of preface it here. So Kenya shared a picture that is already on the internet per her response. So that is not revenge P because the picture is already there. Okay. So these are pictures that everybody would have access to if you just go on the internet and find them. So Kenya did not like that. And as Andy stated, and the reason why I said Kenya pretty much has been fired. At least we know for this season. I mean, Bravo said that they ceased filming with her. What does that mean? Now, what we've learned with Bravo is they really never come out and say they fire anybody. And they've said this, they said they leave it up to them. They don't really broadcast it. So this is what Kenya said. The two co-hosts are extremely ignorant. Sexual assault is, and then she crossed it out. Remember, that's what Phaedra accused Kandi of attempting to do to Portia. I'm not sure why Phaedra was brought in on this. I just don't know why Kenya could not have made her message and not include everybody else. This is just giving me, I'm going down, so I'm going to take anybody I can with me because I don't understand why Phaedra needs to be in this. Okay. I don't understand. She says, revenge P. If someone showed Kim K SCX tape to you, is that revenge P? I found that plus tons others online. She signed a release for it, so it's a fair receipt. So Kenya is saying these are already on the internet. Stop telling and saying that this is revenge P. Then she says, warning, if you are not an attorney and familiar with Georgia law, then shut the F up. Sick of the bias and selective outrage. These comments should not have been aired. It's a podcast. Where is legal? You don't want activated Kenya. I shouldn't have shown at my event. I guess she's saying she shouldn't have shown Britt's pictures at her event. But for the love of God, why would they ignore a clear gun threat? So here's the deal. Kenya is forever crying wolf. Let's just keep it 100, okay? Yes, what Britt said seemed out of place, but did Kenya really feel threatened? I mean, let's just keep it real. I wasn't there. Was she really threatened, or was Kenya just trying to get this woman fired? I don't know. I wasn't there. But we not going to sit up here and act like Kenya have not did some very, very interesting things, because that's just not true. Kenya has been painted as not so nice of a girl. Okay. We're not going to sit up here and act like, Kenya has been the best person represented on the show. And one of the things, guys, that I want to get into that has always disturbed me just a bit is when I see mean girl behavior toward the same race. Like, I'll give you an example. I never understood Kenya's, I'm going to say meanness. I never understood Kenya's mean girl attitude toward Nene. I just never understood it. Now, I get that they were on the show, but even when Nene was off the show, it just always seemed that Kenya was given mean girl. Like, I'm going to bury you. I'm going to continue talking about you. I'm going to continue to say nasty things about you. And let's just get into one of those examples.
For the world.
Opens phone.
I also heard that Nene may be returning. Do you look forward to Nene returning if that would be a possibility for the Real Housewives of
That
Atlanta?
door is closed.
You think it's closed?
You sue your employer. What do you expect to happen? It's like, listen.
It's the thing.
I mean, I don't understand why people think that's a possibility. I don't hate on it, on the idea of it, because I've been very vocal about the fact that I think she was great for the show. But in reality, how do you?
And so, again, all of the extra commentary she gave on Nene suing her employer, I think that was not needed, because if Nene felt like she needed to sue Bravo or whatever the situation was with Nene and Bravo, why does Kenya have to put her butt in the middle of it. Just stay out of it. Just answer the question and say, hey, I think she would be good to come back. I think she won't be good to come back. But to bring up her legal issues that she have with whatever she went through with Bravo, to me is really, really crazy. And I never, ever understood that. And I believe this is why the girls aren't rallying behind her, because Kenya has also exhibited nasty, disgusting behavior. Like, we can't just sit up here and act like Kenya is such a good person, because I just never saw that. I never saw that. I'm not a team twirl, but I definitely am, I'm all for, what is fair. And I never actually saw Kenya, as a fair, nice person. So again, we wasn't there, but I just never really saw her as that person. Now, here's another interview in which, Nene is redeeming herself based on all of the, or some of the things, or should I say all of the things that Kenya put out in the atmosphere, which really had nothing to do with her. So it's kind of like, when you try to bury somebody, dig 2 holes, and one should be for you.
And I really do want to see it, stay around for 10, 15, 20 years if we can.
Okay, Nene, that is what you told us just in November.
Yeah.
But now we got to talk rumors,
Yeah.
because there are rumors you may be wanting to leave Housewives, or people may be trying to phase you out. What is happening?
I don't know about the whole phasing out part. Actually, I asked Andy to ask Kenya why was she going around saying that. And I think Andy helped kind of clear that up a little bit.
Let's take a look at what happened on Watch What Happens Live with Andy himself.
Yes.
She would need to ask Bravo why they're cutting her out of many episodes this season.
Okay, but you're saying that she's being phased out?
Well, I think she is.
She's fighting to stay on the show.
Do you have a word for your reaction to that clip?
That girl is crazy. Something is really wrong with her. No, seriously. If it was my time to go, I absolutely have no problem with that, because the show has been good to me.
So guys, I'm painting a picture here because Kenya went on a whole, what do I want to say, tour of slandering someone that she worked with. Now, I get it. Sometimes we work with people we just don't like, but I always felt like what Kenya was doing to Nene would ultimately be her demise, because what Black women especially need to learn, they need to learn how to love each other, stick together, and not become so competitive with one another that I need to take the next Black woman out, because if I don't, I'll miss my chance at success. And I always felt like Kenya was giving that kind of energy. Not saying she wasn't a star within her own self, but it seems like she always felt like she needed to take the next woman out. And I felt like, because that is, the cards that she dealt within her personality, it seems like that is what her outcome has become.
Let's dig into some stuff that's coming up on the show, because we got that mid-season tease.
Yes.
A lot of stuff going down with your favorite person, Lakeysha.
Yes.
From the looks of the tease, it seems as if she tried to go around, make amends, maybe bury some hatchets.
I love you like a sister, and I'm sorry. I don't want us to have an issue. I really don't.
There's no issue. Kenya agrees?
She's quiet, look at her like a church mouse.
Why didn't that work?
Because it's not genuine. I think that, I wasn't on last season, but last season she certainly was not friends with anyone. She was a man on an island. And in order to integrate herself back into the cast, she had to make amends with people. So that's not genuine. You're just making up with people because you have to, because you have no one else that wants to film with you or nothing else to do. So that's what that is.
You and Nene left on pretty good terms at the end of your season when you walked away.
Okay, guys, I'm just showing you bits and pieces of what Kenya has pretty much painted herself to be. We look at her, maybe you guys don't, but I always looked at her as a villain because that is who she painted herself to be. And again, I never understood her nastiness. Nene went through a situation where she felt like she was being discriminated against. Now, I'm not in that woman's body. I can't say if she was discriminated against or not. But I always thought it was really, really nasty for another woman, especially a Black woman, to sit up there and say this person or Nene wasn't, discriminated against. She's just mad or she's just bitter. I never, ever, ever understood that. And one thing y'all gonna learn, if you don't learn it, you gonna learn it. As especially as Black women, you guys have to stick together. Trying to bury another woman to make yourself rise a little quicker is only gonna bring down you guys individually, because Kenya, it looks like Bravo just didn't have your back, which is obviously crazy because you did a whole tour saying how they were phasing out Nene, but it looked like they may have phased you out as well, honey.
Oh.
And that was simply Nene again defending herself against what Kenya had put out there. Now, was Kenya working for the network? Was they sending her out there to do so much press against Nene? I just never understood that. I just didn't. It was giving mean bitterness because I don't understand how Kenya, would be going on interviews promoting herself, maybe promoting that next upcoming season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but then at the same time make so much, time to just really diss another Black woman that was someone she worked with.
I've been there since day one, and I opened up this door so Kenya Big Mouth Moore could walk through it. Okay?
You're an OG, Nene Leakes. I mean, this franchise is built on your shoulders, and
Yes,
I know
it was.
that.
Yes, it was.
So what about her saying that they're cutting you out of episodes?
Well, how does she know? I mean, does she in production? I mean, I don't know. I don't know why she says the things that she say, but what I do know is, for whatever reason, I don't know how it sounds. I don't know if it even sounds great to even say, but I think that she would love for me to be gone so she could be, in her mind, the head of the show, or the queen of the show, or the one that everyone is talking about. With me there, it's very difficult for her to have that kind of thing. So, and I also think that if I leave the show and Kenya stays on the show, she will be the demise of the show.
Why do
Bloop. Well, what we saw Kenya do is the lowest that it's ever been. But as Nene said, why would Kenya, or why does Nene feel or felt that Kenya would want to get her out of there so that she can rise quicker to the top? Why come these ladies just couldn't play in the sandbox together? Because y'all know that term. At some point in life, you will most definitely reap exactly what you sow.
We see you and Nene in a better place this year. And also, do you think Marlo deserves a peach?
The answer about Nene is absolutely not. I think she's pretty much dead to me.
Okay, and there, guys, you pretty much have it. I believe that Kenya has been, or has painted herself as such a mean, nasty person, that she has pretty much created the exact atmosphere in which she gave to people. I mean, we can just use Nene, for example. I felt like, a lot of the things that she did was very much questionable. And it just didn't make sense. Who knows? Was she doing these things? Was the network telling her to do it? Who knows? But at the end of the day, Kenya has pretty much, she's been discarded. She's been on this show for how long? None of that mattered because I guess the network, feels as if what she did was enough to actually give her walking papers, at least for the, this season. Will we see her, come back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Who knows? But for sure, she will not be there for the remaining this season. And in all, Kenya fashion, she does, take responsibility, but then she reverts to the things like this. Now, this is what she posted, and it says justice for Kenya. Now, look, I guess what she's saying is, I don't know. Let me just stop. I don't know what the hell she's saying, because in all honesty, they both were wrong. They both were wrong. But in Kenya fashion, she is the victim. And the comments are saying exactly that. Kenya has always, and many housewives have said it, she's always went too far. This was extreme to the point that the network is pretty much just not messing with Kenya at this point. Will she come back? We'll see.